Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Women Need to Do Better. Thank you for joining me. I am your host, Shelley Kirshenman. I'm a confidence coach here to help high performing women, leaders just like you, reclaim your power, your energy, and your time. I love these podcasts. It's all about empowering us so we can be confident in all the different aspects of our life, whether it's work, family, friends, but of course, most importantly, it's about showing up for ourselves. So each of our episodes, I'm going to be talking about different situations that either I have been in or that I have helped other people get through, and getting into that nitty gritty of how we can stop giving so much of ourselves and not enough to our own. Things like setting stronger boundaries, and basically just taking better care of ourselves because we are givers and we tend to prioritize everyone else over ourselves, which is not helpful because you cannot pour from an empty cup. So let's stop judging ourselves, stop criticizing ourselves, stop looking for that perfection because it just adds unneeded stress. And it is okay to focus on your own needs. It is okay to say yes to yourself because that's how we thrive. Stop sacrificing yourself and let's figure out how together we can get into that power of being selfish because it's a good thing. So we are now on episode 15, and this episode is about women in crisis. I was watching the 2015 um, episode of, there wasn't an episode, it was a speech by Reese Witherspoon for Glamour. And in her speech, it really got me thinking about movies and about Hollywood and about how women are portrayed. So it's not even just in society, like where we go to work or how we are treated different when we go to the auto mechanic shop or to, restaurants or to car dealerships. I bring up car dealerships and I bring up, the automotive shops because I don't know about you, but for me, I definitely feel there's a gender role and a little bit of a bias when I go and how I'm treated versus when I go with my husband versus when he goes. Now, I can't really speak to when he goes because I'm there. And if I wasn't there, then how would I know what goes on? I don't witness that personally. But I do feel that there is definitely a gap in certain areas of business, and that's business as a woman being the customer or consumer, and business as in the workplace. But going back to the speech that Reese Witherspoon was talking for Glamour magazine, and she was trying to promote, and she was talking about her own business because I believe in 2014, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's when she decided that she was going to put her own money into a business where she was writing scripts so that way Hollywood could have more scripts written by women. And it made me wonder, have you ever watched a movie and thought, who wrote this script? Like, was there any women involved in their characters and the way that the roles are? And I think about this, especially, I mean, the horror movies, and they all kind of have that same pattern where women are dumb and they fall and they scream and they go to hide in the dumbest places, which of course they're going to get caught and killed or whatever. And maybe that's just kind of the allure of some of those horror movies. I don't know. But the one phrase or that one line that I laugh at, and this is what Reese Witherspoon brought up in her speech, was that line, and we all know it, when there's a female character in the middle of a crisis and she turns to the man, she goes, "What do we do now?" And it makes me laugh because she really hit it on the head. How far removed is that from actual reality? And why does it matter that we're portrayed like that in Hollywood? I don't know about you, but I thought about that when I was listening to it, and I thought, I have never in my entire life, when I was faced with crisis, not had at least an idea or a couple of plans on what I was going to do to resolve it. I have never been that lost, that absent-minded, or that aloof, I guess, to the situation that I'm just so brain dead that I just don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, there's this crisis happening, and oh my God, I don't know. I don't know. Like, that's not my thing. And then I'm thinking about even as my kids are growing up, they would call if they were, if they called, let me talk to mom. If they were in the house, where's mom? And I don't know if I'm alone in this. I could be, I don't know. But that is that's the thing. Like, I don't understand. And movies, yes, they are for entertainment. I get that. But a lot of times when I watch movies, there's a little bit of, truth to it, or like they say, based on a real story. Okay, yeah, it might be based on a real story that's fabricated, but that part of it, I don't know. You listening out there in YouTube land, let me know in the comments. I mean, have you ever been so lost as a woman that you did not know what to do? I just, I'm lost for words on why they think that in Hollywood, women don't know how to do anything with crisis. And so many times, and maybe this is why I'm not really big into some of the movies, the films often present women as indecisive and helpless, or like we can't do anything, we can't function without a male's leadership. And it's such a contrast to real life. Like the women I know, the women I work with, that's just like second nature. I mean, I don't even want to say it's part of our job because it's just part of who we are. Our backbone is centered in knowing what to do in a crisis. And that is whether it's in the family, whether it's the workplace, whether it's community, whether we're just out and about. I can't tell you the number of times when I've been around something going on. Actually, here's a thought that just popped into my head because I was trying to think of different scenarios. And when I was in high school, I was hanging out with my friend in front of one of the movie theaters, and it's kind of at the corner of an intersection that's somewhat busy. And there was a guy in a car, just like a four-door sedan, and he was trying to pull out into traffic, and there was a woman walking across the street. And the way that he was looking for traffic, he did not see her because he was looking the opposite direction. And he did not see her. She did not see him not stopping. So he actually ended up hitting her, and she was kind of wedged under his car. Now he couldn't see her because she had already fallen, and he just couldn't understand why his car wasn't going when he was trying to go, and she was kind of screaming underneath. And of all the people around, a woman is the one that was like waving him down, stop, 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 because, obviously he can't go and he shouldn't be going. There were men around too, but they were just like, and I'm not saying that this is in every situation, but when I reflect on all the different times that I have been either in a situation where there has been a crisis or there has been something that we need to make a decision and we need to make a decision fast. I know what I'm going to do. In fact, I've already gotten in my head planned out step 3, step 4, plan A, B, and C. And I don't know. It it does make me a little sad because I'm wondering, is this a reflection on how society sees women, or is it just for entertainment? I'll let you be the judge of that because a lot of times movies and media are a mirror to society. And what does that say about us? What is the ripple effect on the way women are represented when we're depicted as a helpless woman? Does that perpetuate that stereotype that negatively influences how we're perceived as real women in the world? So, you know, and I'm not saying that that's always the case, because of course, there are a lot of movies out there where women break the mold. I mean, think about Erin Brockovich or Wonder Woman or Hidden Figures. Like, these are examples where women shine, especially in Hidden Figures, where you get to see that the brains behind a lot of the things that came out with the science, that was a woman behind it. And actually, if you were to do a little more research, there are so many things that have progressed our society of inventions or just, and I can't think of it off the top of my head because I was watching something where they were talking about, did you know that a woman was behind this and a woman was behind that? But I don't. And why don't I know these things? That wasn't taught in high school. That's not usually what gets presented. It usually gets presented where men take the credit for a lot. And I'm not saying that they aren't smart. I'm not saying that they don't contribute because they absolutely do. But rarely in real life do women say, "What do we do now?" And maybe it's a small little point, but it's worth thinking about. What about you? When you're in a moment of crisis, because I know for me, sometimes when I've got so many things on my plate that I'm dealing with, that I'm a little stressed out, I I do have some ideas, but sometimes I need a sounding board. And I'll tell you that I do not call a man to bounce these ideas off of him to see what would be the best option, or maybe they can think of something that I call one of my female support teams. Whether it's my sister, whether it's my best friend, whether it's my mentor, whether it's a coach, whether it's somebody, but I guarantee you, I call a female. I call another woman. And that's why I think it is so important for women to support other women. When we succeed, we're not dimming someone else's shining light. We don't take away anything from any other woman when we are empowered or when we have successes. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The better we are together, the better it is for all of us. I mean, who do you ask for input from? And when you fail, it's another woman, or I should say for me anyways, I shouldn't speak for everybody, but for me, when I feel like I'm failing, I reach out to a woman and I get the support that I need, and she brings me up and helps me hold it together and helps me shine. And that is what I'm about. Women being there for other women. We can all shine together. And it's that community. In fact, it's kind of sad if you think about the way that social media or even just Hollywood TV, the shows that they have, especially those drama series shows where it's like surreal life, or I don't know what I'm just thinking about. I don't watch them, but I know that they're very popular when it's, you know, a bunch of women together, like The Bachelor or something like that. Or they're all of them, they live under a roof, under, some house, and they gotta go through some trials and get voted off, but they turn against each other. And this is what is so upsetting to me. Maybe that's why I don't like watching those movies or those shows, because all it does is it perpetuates women to be against each other. and let's see them catfight and let's see them talk smack about each other and let's see how they can try to, it's like they have to claw their way to the top by putting each other down. And that's something that I just think is so wrong. That is not how we women are going to be raising ourselves. So you've got women in movies that don't know how to do anything and can't think for themselves. You've got these shows that perpetuate, women being against each other. How often do you see men fighting other men and backstabbing each other so that way they can win the woman over or so that they can win the prize? You just don't really see that, but that is how women are portrayed. And then you have to think about when we pay to see these movies or when we engage in watching it, we are supporting that. And we've all heard it. You vote every day. It's your choice to vote every single day with how you spend your money and how you spend your time. So, whose responsibility is it to show society what we women are about? Each of us has a voice and each of us has a choice. Now, I'm not saying that, okay, let's just, boycott all the bad movies that don't show women as being leaders or anything like that. That's not at all what I'm saying. Hollywood does have a responsibility, but how you vote with your own voice and with your own time will shape how your life is going to look. And I just want you to be aware and intentional with what kind of energy you allow in your life, what kind of things you allow to seep into your brain, the things that we watch, the things that we say, all of these shape who we are and how we feel. And it absolutely impacts how we feel about ourselves. So, this is why I am putting out this message, is because I really want women to be able to harness the inner power that they have, to have that confidence. And in order to have that confidence, we have to keep reassuring ourselves because let's face it, society does a really good job of showing us what we're not worth, of showing us how we do not measure up and how there's that big gap that we've got huge shoes to fill and we have to do everything 10 times as good as Joe Schmo behind us to get half the recognition. And that's why we just accept that. I mean, how long have we show up to work, we work our asses off, and we don't complain, but yet the guy next to us, oh my gosh, you hear them complaining about how hard they work, and you're like, I've done everything that you've done in this entire day in the first 2 hours that I've been here. That's how women are. Power leaders. Those are the women I'm talking to. You know it. You know you. You know that you can run circles around some of your coworkers. And yet, why do we feel like we aren't worthy? Why do we feel like we have to work so hard to get half the recognition and we're okay with that? Why do we think that we have to say, what do we do now? And get someone else to swoop in and rescue us? Maybe it's because all of those stories that we were told, the fairy tales when we were growing up, how we were princesses and all we have to do is be beautiful, right? And our prince will come and save us, and that's all we have to do. And we know that's a load of crap. I know that the women I'm talking to, we don't need a man to save us. We would love for a man to be able to match our energy. We would love for us to have a partner that can help swoop in, give us that break when we need it. but be that partner that we can lean on and that leans on us. And equality doesn't mean equal for equal. Equality is more about equity. And I'll leave you with this. Think back to all of the tough times that you have been in your life. Write them down. Write it down so that way the next time you feel overwhelmed or you feel like there's just so much chaos going on, and you read that and you recognize how amazing you are. All of the things that you have been through, you are 100% for 100% of all those things, and you're still here and you're still kicking ass. And that's what I want to leave you here with. Know your worth and be proud of that. There is nothing wrong with feeling good about how smart, how productive, and how amazing you are. We are the ones who decide what we're worth, not Hollywood, not TV, not social media, you. What story are you telling yourself? What are you telling yourself, the thoughts in your head when everything is quiet? Remember that you are amazing. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And if you think of anybody else that could use some support and some encouragement, please send them my way, subscribe to my channel, listen to my podcast, and I will see you on the next time. I love you guys and have a great week. Talk to you later. Bye.